Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we will begin with all kinds of basic like extreme basics, the start of chess. So today we are gonna cover some rules and I'm gonna explain all these lines, these letters and these numbers, how they represent and what are the common mistakes while arranging the board. Okay, so let's start. The normal board position is, just remember always that the normal board position is this, where the right hand of your right hand is the white square. So suppose this is white and this side is black. Okay, so let's just place a queen here. Okay, so yeah, and okay, so this is the white side, this is the black side. So always remember while arranging the board, the rightmost square should be white. Some players, what they do, that some boards don't have these numbers and these letters, so they arrange this way. So like uh, suppose this side is white and like suppose this side is black. So this is very wrong way of arranging. Yeah, some people do, like who are beginners in chess, the players who are trying to learn chess, so they arrange this. But nowadays every the normal tournament set we get, so every board has these letters and these numbers. Yeah, the wooden set doesn't have. So the beginners might arrange in it in a wrong way. So just check that your right most square is white. Okay, so these are A to H, and these are 1 to 8. So always remember this. A starts from left side on the white side. Okay, remember on the white side it starts from left. So this is the rook square of white. It starts from left to right, and this goes from 1 to 8, from bottom to top on the white side. And from the black side it is opposite. It is a to H, like basic. But if you see from the black side, from left to right it is H to A, and then 8 to 1. Okay, so basically while learning this, just practice it from the white side, so it is easy to get used to. But I am just telling you to understand what these notations are. We call it notations. So what these notations are: how to write a game, basic how to write a game, because these are essentials, these letters and numbers to write a game. But I advise that don't invest much time in understanding this, because as you play games, as you learn chess, as you analyze chess, this thing will automatically get used up to. So just for basic learning purpose I'm teaching this. Okay, so this is A1, this is A2, this is A3, same B1, B2, B3. Okay, so when, suppose this is my knight. Okay, so when I place this, so knight, the spelling starts from K, but while writing notations we write like you can say NF3. Okay, so here it is N, knight. The capital letter goes for all the major pieces. F is this file, this is F, and which row? 3, so NF3. Okay, so basically this is the way of writing notation. So suppose this is rook. Okay, so now suppose I take it okay, oh no, wait. Okay, so suppose I take it to this. Okay, so what we are gonna write? Yeah, see here, rook, capital R, 2, this is A file and this is 5, so rook to A5. Okay, These are basic kind of notations. Like this is the way we write game. uh, this is the modern way. The old technique was like, normally suppose this was the rook, okay, so this was the rook, so normally the old way was, right, this is a1, right, so we used to write a1, see here, a1, and now I am going to a5, so this used to write a1 a5, okay, so this was the way we used to write it in the old times. But now modern times it's like rook a5. Okay, fine. So if you want to practice it, you can remove your chessboard and then practice a5, all kinds of notations. Okay, so uh, let me tell you about the castling rule. So let's just this is the king, this is the rook. Oh, this is the rook. Okay, so the rules of castling are: the king and the rook shouldn't have moved from the start of the game. Then only you can castle. If your king has moved, or if your rook has moved, then you can't castle. So castling is like this king, okay, this king goes two steps. This is one, this is second, and the rook goes from it goes to the other side of the king. Okay, so this is castling. But let me come back. Okay, but the rule of castling is not this. This is not the simple rule of castling. Okay, so the king, when you're castling, the king should not have checked. So suppose this is the rook. Okay, so rook was here and then rook came here. So now this is check, right? So you can't castle now because your king is under check. This is the first rule. Second rule is these squares. So okay, the king is moving from this square to this square. So you just have to make sure that this square, F and G, okay, these both squares shouldn't be in check. So suppose, okay, let's consider that this is the rook, okay, and you're not in check, okay, this king is not in check, so you can castle. But suppose the rook is here, okay, or even here. So the king is basically moving from this square to this square and then to this square. But the rook is here. Okay. So this file is under check. So in this case also you can't castle. Okay. So this rule goes from both sides. So this is the queen. Okay. Let's just okay, this is the rook. Let's move all the pieces out. Okay. So this thing goes from the both sides. So in this is called short castle, king side castle, and this is called long castle or queen sides castle. So in queen sides castle, same, the king goes 1 2, and the rook goes other side to the king, adjacent to the king. Okay, oh sorry. So the rook goes from this to this. Same rules are applying here. These both squares should not be in check. The king should not be in check. Both pieces should not have moved from the start of the game. Okay, this is one. You can say a unique rule or a unique move in chess. Another move is called en passant, or it is pronounced as au passant, or in short we say en pass. So what is en pass? Let me tell you. Okay, so this is the black, and suppose this is the white. Okay, so somehow my this white pawn is have come in this, okay, this square. So basically, consider this 4, like 1 to 4, it's white's area, and 5 to 8, it's black's area. So 1 2 3 4, 4 rows of blacks and 4 rows of white. So somehow this pawn went this, and he is now in the black's area. Okay, the fifth file. The next move the black does is, if he directly takes the pawn two squares ahead, okay, not okay, remember I'm repeating again, not like this one, and then suppose I played something else here and then he took one step again. No, not like that. Straight away two steps. Okay, so the next step what white can do is he can take this pawn like this, and this pawn is out. Got it? Okay, I'll repeat again. So this is the position. Black takes its pawn two steps ahead, and this is just for the starting. It's not that suppose this is pawn here and my white pawn is here. Okay, because the basic rule of chess is the pawn can uh, take two steps only, while starting its row, while moving ahead on its row. The black pawn, if you take one step and then you can't take two steps. Okay, those two steps are allowed only while starting. You can take one step, or one step, or for the first time you can take directly two steps. Okay, so I'll repeat the en pass move. So if the black goes directly two moves, white can capture it like this. Okay, remember, like this, normal capturing, but this pawn is out of the game now. This is called en pass. So these two, you can say, unique rules or golden rules. uh, Basically this castling is done to protect the king, because so suppose these are white pawns. Okay, so basically this is the chess.com analysis mode. So these are white pawns. Rook is over here and the king is over here. Okay, so suppose, no, sorry. So the pawn has this played some moves. So this move is to protect the king. So king comes this side and the rook comes this side. So basically this is done to protect the king and to bring some major pieces up here somehow. So basically the king is under lot of protection. So basically this is its soldiers on its castle. So this is the castling move. This is very common move, but remember the rules. You can Google it to understand it more. But these are normal rules to castle. The king should not be in check. The pieces should haven't moved from the start of the game. Both, like this king and the rook. Okay, now so let's do some practice. Where is a5? A5 is here. Okay, all right. Where is b6? B6 is here. Where is h7? H7 is here. Where is g5? G5 is here. Where is f3? F3 is here. Where is h8? H8 is here, the black line. Where is a1? A1 is here, this diagonal. Where is c5? C5 is here. Where is g3 again? G3 is here. Okay, so basically you can practice like this, but I personally advise not to invest much time in this. As you play, you will get to know this, you will be used to it, will be very easy. So basically I've taught how to write the move. So queen goes for capital Q. So this is like, suppose uh, I've played this move. So I can write queen, look at here, capital Q, queen to E5. Okay, this is the move. The problem happens with is rooks and knights. So suppose this is the one knight here, and this is the other knight here. Okay, so both of these knights can come to this square. This knight can also come to this square, and this knight can also come to this square. So how can you write? Because if you write and then you just, if you write a knight to d5, so n d5, and maybe later when you analyze game, okay, like when you start analyzing your game later, then you won't understand which knight come here, okay, come on this square. So you will be confused. So this way is a little bit different. So suppose this knight has been in this square, okay, the okay, knight to d5. But where was this knight first? It was c7. So you can write n c 7. You don't have to write because you know these, this is on sixth row and this is in seventh row, so you don't have to write c7, or maybe you can write if you want, but normally nc and then d5, nc d5. Okay, if this knight would have come to this square, then what you could have wrote nf here, nf d5. Okay, so while you play the game, you will be a little bit confused in the start, because it's difficult when you play the game and then you start writing the game when you're a beginner. But with practice, you will be able to figure it out. Or normal you can write, okay, this is nf6. Okay, so you can write, players who get confused how to write, so you can write nf6 then d5, you know, all together nf6 d5. This is also okay. Basically the notations are for us, or for the arbiters to analyze games, for players to analyze games, and for arbiters to check the game if there is some doubt um, of your opponent, or there are some issues. So this is the way we write game. Rook is also same, you can write same thing about rook. So suppose this and this. So suppose this rook h2, it came to e2, you can write rh or rh2. Let's start with rh2. Rh2, what is this? E2, rh2 e2. Okay, or simply rh e2. This is common, rh e2. Oh, sorry. Okay, rh e2. This is the common way all the pro chess players write this, but since you're beginner, you can write simply rh2 e2. This is also fine. Okay, so this is the way the confusion happens between knights and rook. So this is the notation how we write when the both rooks are on the same file, or when the knights, both the knights can come to the same square. So I think I have taught you much for the beginners, extreme beginners, the notations, this letters, this numbers, how to write the notations, the castling rule, the n pass rule. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. If you have any doubt, please ask me in the comment section. And first, I'll advise you to go through this video uh, 2 to 3 times more, like who are extreme beginners, to understand. uh, you can google the npass and the castling rule for more details if you haven't understood through this video, but I think I've simplified it very much. So thank you for watching.